Hi everyone, this is Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot TV, and I am here today with Avraham Motola, and we're going to be talking about the death of Barry Shamish, a very well-known Israeli journalist and someone who I have interviewed in the past, and he is someone who wrote a book about the Anunnaki in Israel. And Avraham is also Israeli, I believe, and he lives in Israel, and he knew Barry Shamish. So we're going to talk to him about that, and we're also going to discuss Illuminati symbolism and some very interesting things he's come across in his years of research into this subject. And there's a lot of prophetic type of information that he will share. I do want to say that we don't necessarily agree with or even, acknowledge some of this, because it may be, some of it has, you might say, is contained in the Bible, it's contained in the Quran, it's contained maybe in other books, and it depends on your point of view. So it should be a very interesting discussion to talk with him about his perspective and what he's come across. I can tell you that he's been in communication with me for quite a long time, sending me very interesting information. So Avraham, are you there?
Yes, hi, Karen.
Hi. So what I was going to do was try to read a bit of the bio you sent me. You said it was kind of like the early days. And just a short bio as, and then you can kind of augment it. So you were born in Israel in 1975 to Jewish parents, and your father came from Turkey, your mother from India. In, 1993, you were certified with an electrician diploma, and obviously, English is not your first language. I did post your short bio on my site, but some of the spelling is not perfect. So you got a high school diploma in Tel Aviv, and then you were, does it really say selling candies at the base club?
In the base, in the military base.
Okay. Yeah. And then you worked in a very large shoe company. And a factory. You traveled to South America in '98. You were there for 6 months. And then you spent 8 years in the USA, working, traveling, and making a short film. And you did a workshop at the New York Film Academy and also at Universal Studios in LA. And you went to a lot of concerts, as well as raves. That's actually very funny. And let's see, you came back to Israel in 2006 to finish a project, and you were researching the Illuminati, et cetera, et cetera. So that is where we're going to take off from. And you do some studies, don't you? What are you studying? Because I know you had a class right before we started here.
I was approached by the Illuminati, then that's what I learned from my research. I was contacted by some I didn't know who is it, and then I researched, and it was approved by the contact man from New York. His name was Alfred Sherman Goldfield from 99 Wall Street, and he was I assume a billionaire lawyer from the office of Balsam, Falber, and Goldfield. And he told me his brother was one of the lawyers of Dick Cheney, the vice president at the time. So I called him, and after a few months that I get messages in ways that you will not believe me, I called him like every week, and I said, what is going on? In approach that I don't like it. And the conversation was disconnected, either by him or I don't know. And then I felt, I understood something is not kosher, and I went online researching conspiracies, and I didn't know about this reality. And then I found out that they work other gods, idolatry, and on and on until even
Okay. Slow down, because this doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now. So I want to see if I can understand what you just said. So you're saying that somehow they were watching you. Is that right?
Yeah, and even the time when I was in the States, then now I realized, if I'm looking back on my on the history, yes, I was under their watch. Let's say that.
Okay, so you believe that the Illuminati were watching you when you were in the States, and you came back to Israel, and you're saying you were having some kind of visions. And what does Dick Cheney? Did you say Dick Cheney? And what does he have to do with it? I don't understand.
No, not visions yet. I didn't talk about visions. I had how to call it, messages, like secret agency that only those can do. You know, that if I will tell somebody, you would think I'm crazy. Understand?
Okay, so you got messages, what, inside your head, or
no,
messages like an email, a phone?
In the TV, I get messages. If I watch a video, it stops on a certain word. Then somebody go in the alley and he's talking on the phone, and he continues the sentence. And you're not going to believe me. Let me just don't go into this. It's not going to be fair, you know, to know how power they have and what psychology actions they can do to bring you messages. And then I called this lawyer, Mr. Goldfield.
You called a lawyer. Okay, so you called a lawyer. What was it, because you were afraid, or what?
No. I tried to figure out who's doing this, because I knew few famous people in the States, not many, but I met the manager of Roger Waters, and after a few months, he's coming to have a concert on my birthday. And that's why I came also in 2006 to make it to the concert. And I met the first tourist in space. My girlfriend at the time in Los Angeles, her best friend was dating Mr. Tito, Dennis Tito. And, you know, he liked me, and we met one time, and I could meet with him a lot of time, but I wasn't after money.
You could meet with, what's this person's name?
Dennis Tito, the first tourist in space.
I see. Okay, so at any rate, you got these messages, you went back to Israel, and what did you start studying?
I researching, you mean?
Yes.
The conspiracies.
All right.
And then I saw you, Project Camelot is the first thing you see when you go into conspiracies, you know. And with your partner at the time, you've been with him. And I learn, and I discovered by myself many things. And
right.
I did a site, and I did a presentation in Tel Aviv last year.
You did a presentation, and what was the presentation about?
It was on my story.
Uh-huh.
I'm doing with you basically, a little bit of my story,
sure.
And then my findings, and also what other people found, to explain to somebody who's new, doesn't know anything like I was, to show him few things like 9/11, and to raise the question, to show him some things that are not kosher, cannot be, and then in my presentation, we go stage by stage, who's in control, what they're planning, who they are, not only who they are, but also who are they, what are they made, what the entity, what are they? They're not, some of them, demons, you might say. I'm afraid so, yeah.
Okay. So at this point, first of all, I want to discuss with you the death of Barry Shamish, right? Because he was a very interesting journalist, and I believe you're aware of the book that he wrote about the Anunnaki, correct?
That's his only book that I read, and he's the first guy I called to share my experience. What they approached me, the Illuminati, whatever they did, and I called him. He's the first one I called to have somebody to talk to, you know.
Okay, and so you knew Barry Shamish, and didn't they ask you to identify his body? Isn't that right?
I volunteered because there was nobody else to do it, and those in power that hide, they're doing witchcraft, and so if I volunteer, it's better than nothing, to make sure it's him.
Okay, so how long did you know him for?
I didn't know him personally.
So you just corresponded with him?
Yes, I wanted to interview him on Skype a few months ago, and you told me he was afraid of the Anunnaki.
Well, he interviewed. What he did was he went around, as you know, interviewing housewives as it happened, because there was a newspaper article that came out saying that housewives were seeing these very tall beings sort of walking in their houses with no key, sort of kicking their animals out and being sort of cruel to animals, and that they were just around their neighborhoods in the daytime. And they acted as if they owned the place. They talked to them, but they wouldn't answer. And that was how he described it. And
I have a comment. I don't know what made me ask him on our conversation, on the first conversation and only conversation by phone. I asked him, Barry, are you a Mason, a Freemason? And he told me, not anymore, something like that. He said that. And
okay.
I didn't ask more at the time, but that was weird,
Right. Okay, well, why do you think he was killed, or do you think that he died of natural causes?
Of course he was killed.
Okay. Can you explain how he was killed?
No, I don't know details. I heard he didn't have the air conditioner, didn't work at this place, and the landlord didn't. I don't know. I don't want to go into this. I don't know details. But
have you ever
they do whatever they do, what they want to do? They did it to my uncles. They killed many of my family and many other circles around me, his neighbors, and afraid. I'm going with them all the way. I wasn't afraid, and I had also spiritual experiences. And God. Maybe later I will tell you when you ask me. And
okay. But first, let's finish up with Barry Chamish. So, if you can explain, who was it, or who did you meet when you went to identify his body? Did you go to a coroner, or was it
no, at the funeral, and his daughter and his son were there, and a few other family members,
Okay.
All of us, and his son didn't want to do it, and
okay. Oh, so you did it for the family in a certain sense. Is that right?
Without asking them, we're talking with the rabbi, with the burial rabbi,
Okay, I thought perhaps Barry Chamish had left Israel. Did he leave and go back, or what?
No, he stayed in Florida. He didn't come back.
Okay, so you flew to Florida to...
They brought the body to Israel after 2 weeks.
After 2 weeks?
Yeah, it was difficult to raise money, and the family still, if somebody can donate them, they took loans to bring him, the flight and all the arrangements. It's like...
I see.
If people can go into his website or to the page, they can see the details there.
All right. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. So as far as Barry's concerned, is there anything you can tell us about Barry Chamish, what you discussed with him in the past, anything particular that you discussed that might be interesting to the public?
Not so much, but I tried to tell him about my findings, and especially in the banknotes. And I don't know. I was thinking like other sites, like you or him or other Israeli conspiracy sites, that they will publish it and talk about it. But you don't know who to trust. You don't know who is disinformation. You know. So
Right.
I was very disappointed. But maybe he was afraid. Maybe
So
not everybody can understand
he
what.
didn't, did he disagree with you, or did he agree with you, or did he ask you questions, or what?
No. It's like not much of no, not even a comment. I think.
All
If
right.
just like I send you and other people, I cannot come in and criticize to anyone. Everyone is researching in his own what his mind is now. It's very vast many things to research. So hey, it was afraid.
I understand. Do you think, why do you think they killed him?
Why? I don't know, but I can tell you that the Yemenite children, this story that they kidnapped many Yemenite kids in the 50s when Israel was established. When they
Okay.
brought the Yemenite Jews from Yemen, so they took many of them were disappearing. And they told the families, your baby died. And the families, thousands of stories like this. Show us the baby, let us bury. No, go home. And they try to close the files, and they also recently they censor it for the next 70 years. But recently, in the last couple of months, they try to open it. Pressure from the families and young academics, researchers also make pressure. So now the government are going on the files.
Okay, and so was Barry Shamish investigating this Yemeni children story?
Yeah, but he did experiments on them, and there is a famous rabbi in Israel, Rabbi Uzi Meshulam. They killed him also. And he was one of the leaders to investigate this thing that he took thousands of kids, not only Yemenites, but some of them they found they went to be adopted in different places in the world. But I think it's just a cover-up for the other thousands of people, babies, that they took them to experiment on nuclear things. And this rabbi mentioned to two people, and one of them most likely was a very Hamish. So now they're opening the files now. They're going on the files. The new minister was appointed to do it. So they were probably afraid that Barry has the secret information. And now also Shimon Peres, that many people say that he is responsible for that. He also in hospital and probably his last hours,
He also, I'm sorry, what about him? Hospital?
Shimon Peres is in a hospital. He's about to die.
Right now?
He called his family to say goodbye to him. He was responsible. Many say that. Also Barry Hamish and Uzi Meshulam that they killed. That he's responsible for that in the 50s. Taking babies to nuclear.
Right. Okay. Well, right now I'm showing people an article from Haaretz. Is that how you say the name of the newspaper?
Yeah. They interviewed me a few months ago regarding the chemtrails.
I see.
Elaborate on chemtrails. I had a meeting with the Ministry of Agriculture 2 months ago, and after the meeting, there were no chemtrails visible in Israel. I gave him a report about chemtrails and also about the new false flag in the Israeli banknotes, and I gave him.
Well, did they actually put that online or not?
What?
This interview with you that they did.
They interviewed a few researchers on chemtrail in Israel, and they took my comment also.
I see. Okay.
But the meeting with the agriculture minister was only a few months ago. But this article was a year ago, even more.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of your banknotes on the screen, you know, with the information you sent me, and we can start talking about all of that. I want to find out, who are you studying with? Because you said you have classes. Is that right? Are you studying the Kabbalah? What are you studying?
Oh, not so much, but in the last few years, I lived in the north. I'm originally from Rishon LeZion. It's close to Tel Aviv. But in the last few years, until last year, let's say, I was living in the north in a village that's called Meron. And over there is the burial site of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And he wrote the Kabbalah's book, the Zohar, Book of Splendor.
Okay.
And he's buried there. And I lived there for a few years, and you know, I learned and I read. And he was Rabbi Shimon 2,000 years ago. He was hiding in a cave. The Roman emperor wanted to kill him after he talked about the benefits. So the emperor was, and they actually were buried in the soil, and they studied Torah, Bible every day. And Elijah the prophet was visiting them almost all the time, basically. And he gave them prophecies and teach them the secrets of the Kabbalah. And if you want, we can talk about the Star Wars prophecy from Elijah the prophet, as was given to Rabbi Shimon as written in the Zohar.
Okay, you know? Rabbi Shimon is how you say it.
Yeah.
But he must not be alive at this time, right?
No, 2,000 years ago.
Right. So you're saying 2,000 years ago he had prophecies about Star Wars?
No, he got prophecies from Elijah the prophet that was showing up to him. And his son, Rabbi Eliezer, his son of Rabbi Shimon, both of them were hiding for 12 years. And after 12 years, the emperor died, and they went out. But they were so strict to people. They saw how people, you know, living daily lives, and they got punished to go for another year in the cave, to complete like the 13 years being in the cave. Okay. That's the second most visited place in Israel after the Temple Mount, after the Western Wall. The second place is Meron, the village of Meron in the north, next to the Sea of Galilee.
Oh, I think I went there.
Yeah?
Yeah, I went to the Sea of Galilee, so maybe I was right there.
Oh, it's a few miles on the mountains, like 10 minutes drive, yeah.
Isn't that where Megiddo is?
No, Megiddo is it's halfway. It's halfway, more to the north.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm putting on the screen some of these.
I don't see the screen. Where should I go to see?
Right. So actually, it's going to be a little difficult if you can't see the screen.
I should go to...
maybe I could share, if I share my screen with you. I wonder if you'd be able to see on Skype. Hold on one second. Let me try this because I haven't tried this before. So I'm going to share this screen. Hopefully this won't screw up the sound. And...
oh, you want me to go to YouTube or something? Oh, okay, I see.
So I'm going to put these on the screen, and people can see them as well. So I don't, you know, this is basically kind of like a cover that you've got here that says humanity's greatest secret. I don't know what else it says. Inverted scans exposes state secrets. Israeli banknotes hides a secret layer. All right?
Yeah.
Now, how about, so we start, do you want to start here or tell me, I have a number of these here, so you can tell me which to...
well, just go by what's coming up, what's showing up.
Okay, how about this one? This is
yeah, this is the Israeli 50 shekel note. It's still in use. They made a new version a few months ago, but this one's still in use. In this version, you see the Pope, and you see many things. Here, what you see on the sides of the banknote, you can see cut to two, like a half tower. And many years I tried to figure out what is this tower. So I found this statue in Iran. And then lately, one of the readers that I want to know his name, I forgot, he told me, Avi, it looks like the X-Wing from Star Wars. And I did check, and it's exactly. And on the tower, you can see on the sides, you can see some like pins on the wings. Like a tower doesn't have those pins. And it's actually like the machine gun, the cannon place. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And some people tell me, look on the top left. It's not exactly. Why it's not exactly? Because what I found, the picture in the internet, it's only the front view, but I'm looking for a side picture of this spaceship, the toy, and if I find it, I order online, but I didn't get it yet. If you're going to look at it on the side view, on the profile, you're going to see that it's exact match to this anomaly, and I did invert also. You don't need to make invert, but I totally invert.
Okay, so this is a 50 shekel note, and do you know the significance of this? Are you trying to say that is it linked with some of these other slides you sent me, or do you have?
Now the Hollow Earth. Here we're going to the Hollow Earth theory, which Rabbi Shimon in the Zohar book, the Kabbalah book, it explains about the Hollow Earth, it explains who lived there, and how they got there from the first place. Shortly, I will tell you the sons of the first of Cain. He had a few more sons, or I'm not saying it exactly, but the sons of the first man, Adam and Eve, they had a few more kids, I think, or something like that. Sons of Cain and other entities. So these types, some of them with 2 heads, and we got the list over there.
Okay, and is this?
So here we see. I didn't send you the picture, but if you look on the under you can see it on the edge. You can see the spacecraft. It's like on the edge, and in the picture that I can send you, you're gonna see it's like you can see exactly the opening of the Hollow Earth. So like the spacecraft, it's on the edge of the Hollow Earth, on the North Pole. So either they're preparing us for Star Wars, with the real stage, I don't know. But if you want, I can go to my abduction.
All right.
In some spacecraft. But we'll go for it later.
Well, what do you mean to your abduction? Why don't we talk about that?
I was abducted. You want me to tell you the story?
Yes.
In the beginning of my research, I bought a magnifying lens of a satellite. Not used one, but one that they didn't use because it had a little scratch. And with the homemade telescope, I connected to the computer and I put it to one of the stars, maybe Jupiter, I think, or something, and I fell asleep on the mattress. I was thinking I'm seeing some, movement. Okay, I fell asleep. And then, before that, I was investigating a spacecraft that, I don't know if you have it on the list, that is the winged disc. It's a big alien spaceship. You can see it on LASCO.
Okay. Can you see the desktop? Are you talking about the one that I've got on the screen right now, or no?
I should have sent you more pictures. If you can go to my website, maybe you can see it.
All right. Maybe I can do that. So your website is Avril. It's your name, Avraham?
No. So 9ABN. Just go to Facebook to the Eshel code.
So this guy is he something of an expert on this?
And I called him a few years ago. When I saw, you see the Jesuit go down. You see the face, the big face.
Right.
Yes, this on the right.
Yeah.
On the under checker, you see the big face.
Right here.
Yes. You see this. So I called him. I told him, Mr. Eshel, what are those faces? Not only this. This is, I assume it's Ignatius Loyola, the head of the Jesuit order, And you can see the Pope on the negative, plus negative on the 15. I asked him, Mayor, what is those? What are those? And he tried to tell me, no, listen, these are just stain colors. And tried to convince me that it's nothing. It's all coincidence. And after a few years, at the same time, I called the Bank of Israel. I told them to investigate it. They did a committee, and they wrote me that they didn't find nothing.
Okay, so let's first of all tell me about your abduction, and then we'll get more in depth into some of these other images that you came across. So,
sure.
what happened with the abduction?
In the abduction, so the spacecraft. One second, I'm going to send you a picture of it. And in I fell asleep on the mattress, and I find myself in a big spaceship. It was almost like a Star Trek. And
is somebody knocking on a door or something like that?
I'm clicking my computer to look for the picture of the spaceship to show you.
I see.
And
okay, so you fell asleep and you were in a spaceship, and then what happened?
Then I'm escorted by a giant, like 3 meters, and he didn't touch me or anything, It was a relaxed environment, and I'm looking at the carpet, the rug on the floor, and I see like not for real, but I'm seeing like a city, like those floating cities in space.
Yeah.
All those. So that's what I saw. Like I'm seeing a city, small version. And then I'm being escorted to the bridge where the captain, like in the movies, the elevator opens. And they do search on me, or like when you go to a mall and they scan you.
Yeah.
And that was painful. The most pain I ever felt in my life.
Wow.
And next to me was somebody else. Like, I didn't look. I didn't feel the need to look, but what I had in my mind, it was like a human like me, They didn't do nothing to him or something. And while they scanned me, the giant, I was scanned by somebody else, not by the giant. But the giant is like in front of me, and he's like doing muscles, like Schwarzenegger, and he's smiling, and he's all satisfied. So then next thing I know, I'm back on the mattress, and I felt pain for a few milliseconds, let's say. It's not a dream, it was an actual experience.
Okay, yeah. So you were totally awake when you were abducted, and then you were back on your in your bed, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I see it as they tried to scare me.
You thought they tried to scare you. Well, have you ever had any more abductions since that time?
Abductions, Kerry, but I had not many, but I had like a dozen of experiences. If you want, I can share it with you. And I can take you back. Let me take you back for one of the serious. That was when I was in the army. I was the manager of the club, and I had my own room, next to the cat, once again, I'm sending you the link now to the other banknotes page, but it's in Hebrew over there.
Okay, well, it might be okay as long as we can see the pictures, then we can share that.
You can open it while I'm talking, and you're going to see the spacecraft over there.
Okay.
So I woke up one night, and I heard a voice, I was a good kid, good soldier, listening to Pink Floyd and not taking drugs or something, waking up and the mountains there of Elon Moreh, it's like where Abraham was, the Bible, it's not far. And I hear a voice in my head, and it's repeated twice. The voice said, the soul, in Hebrew, of course, yeah? It says, the soul will come from the sky, and then it repeats, the soul will come from the sky.
Okay, and what, can you translate it? It's just saying the soul will come from the sky?
Yeah. The soul will come from the sky, the soul will come from the sky. I'm like, I heard it, not loud, like a whisper. I'm looking around me in my room, only me and the chief commander, that the Mossad killed his father because he was supposed to be the chief of the military. It's a long story, but he was the commander of the division, the tank division. So only me and him in the base have our own room, private home, you might say, So
is this when you're doing service to the Israeli army?
What?
This is when you were as part of the Israeli army.
That's the first experience, spiritual, and then now more things happen. And then I remember in that experience, that day, next day it happened, I didn't even think about it, until those years that they approached me and I had experienced like the abduction, like I'd experienced with God, I'd experienced with the bad angel that attacked me a few times, and I will elaborate more when I was. Okay. You see where I'm pointing at?
Yes.
See this ring disc?
Right. Can you zoom in at all because it's quite small?
Oh, let me see.
Let me see if I can enlarge that at all.
I did. Yeah, I did. You can see it bigger now? Yeah.
Not much.
So this spaceship, whatever it be, I was, checking it every day almost. Like every 2 weeks, you can see it from different angles. You can go now to Lascaux telescope, you have the dates, that time.
I don't understand. Are you saying that the spaceship was stationary and you were able to look at it during the daytime?
No. This is from Lascaux telescope of NASA. You can go to Lascaux telescope of NASA.
Oh, all right. So you saw this picture on NASA and it looked like the one that you were abducted by.
Checking the dailies, pictures of the satellite. Lascaux 2, Lascaux 3, something like that. Lascaux Soho.
Right.
And you can see the dates. That time I was checking it every day. I was, I was excited. But now I'm not doing it. And so I have a reason to believe that that's the place I was taken to. It's huge. It's huge. I don't know. It's the size of Earth. It's the size of the continent. I don't know. But you can see it. It looks like the ancient winged disc out.
Right.
Babylonian, the Anunnaki. And I don't know if you can see it here. You see what I'm pointing now?
Yes, but it's very, it's not very clear.
See on the left is the under checking note. on the circle here, I enlarge, you press negative. What you see here on the bottom, you can see somebody with a beard. You can see his profile.
All
You
right.
can see here. And here I enlarge it. Here it's not so good quality, but you can see it almost like 3D in different, depending what screen you have, you know? So I was, everything combined in my research, like with the notes, I could prove that all of the Anunnaki, everything, you know, you have like a proof that it's true, you know? They are in control now, and they are probably the sons of God, you know, they're still visiting, as we know, you know. And in Hebrew, those bad angels, they're soldiers or them themselves, you know, like the graves, they call mezikim, those who do damage. And if you study the Torah, you know, with the rabbi, there is a prayer at night when you say, and every Jew has to say it in the morning and night, and this protects you from those demons, those sons of God, whatever
All right.
call it, you know. And because when you get close to God, you attract a holy light, invisible light, you know. There's two kinds of light in the Judaism when you study the Kabbalah. There is holiness light and there is the dark side light.
Right.
It's called light of Esav. Esav, the son of Isaac. You know, the Jews are descendants of Jacob, and Esav, he went to the bad way. So the dark side light, which the Illuminati, I assume, they working on the dark light or the Esav. So when we say the prayer like this, "Hear Israel, our God is one," you know, and I'm going to say it now, just for example, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. When you say that, so you attract, you know, light, holy light that will defend you, and so they cannot get close.
Okay.
Also, a woman in the Judaism, if she had a period, she need to go to, how we call it, to go into the water, to you know, a special bath, you know, one time, you know, just put all of the body, and then she can be with the husband after the period. So let's say so, you know, so I assume, I understand, so that if a woman doesn't go to mikveh, it's called, to the bath after when she finished the period days, then only then she can be with the husband. So let's say the UFO with this demon, with those grays or sons of God. So if the woman didn't do this bath, she doesn't have defense. So those spiritual grays, they can see different light spectrum that we don't see. Okay? And if somebody gets close to God, you know, do a good mitzvah, good deed, or study something before we go sleep or in the daytime, or 1 hour after work to study something, he attract a holy light, and this defense against them. And that's what I started to do in my research. You know, I had my from childhood, you know, they're there to celebrate holidays, you know, and bar mitzvah. I used to go to the beach on Saturday, but I didn't walk, you know. When I was smoking, which we're not supposed to light fire on Sabbath. So I had the base of Judaism, you know, to practice. But I learned, I understood that to fight against them, especially when I'm researching them, and they try to harass me, so it's not only to explain like I'm doing now, or, you know, it's also to get close in your whole spiritual quest to get close to God, you know. The mitzvah, it's that you wrote in the Bible, the 10 Commandments. So
okay, let's get back to these the symbolism and the various notes that you're trying to share. Okay.
Yeah.
And what is the significance of this tidal wave on the? I don't know what building it is supposed to be. Can you tell me?
You're talking about the secret map with the nuke scenario, I'm afraid. That's what you're talking about?
I don't know. It's a tidal wave coming over the top of a building. And the shekel note.
In the 100 shekel, yes. Okay. So let's go to this picture. Okay, you see the finger, the hand?
Yes.
Yeah. So as you can see here, we have in front of us the 100 shekel banknote. It was made around 95, I think, more or less. And as you can, oh, by the way, the banknote, I don't know, one second. Okay, here you see it like this, horizontal and vertical. So in the vertical, you see the door and the window?
Okay.
See door and window?
Right.
Okay, on the top of it, what you're supposed to see is the village of Pekin. It's few miles where burial of Rabbi Shimon. And that's where the cave that he was hiding, it was in this village of Pekin. It's a mixture of Arab and Christian and Jewish village until today, and there's the new Pekin, the new modern city next to it. So here what we see is the old synagogue of the city. Rabbi Shimon wasn't there, but there is an old synagogue and there is an old lady, Gveret Zinati, Mrs. Zinati, and when she was young, since then she's guarding this synagogue. She's taking care of it. Nobody prayed there, but tourists come every often day, and she opened the door to them. And okay, so this is in the bank, the village of Pekin. Look how everything got together. So when you put the note at the bottom, you see it horizon in a horizontal way. You see here the line that I'm pointing. You see the line?
Yes.
Brown line?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now look here. It's curving down and then it's going back up. You can see it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Why I'm telling you that? And look, it's going down and the line doesn't continue. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's covered by white. Okay? Now remember this bottom area that is covered, the line doesn't continue. Okay. Now this is exact match to the map of the Israeli shoreline. Where Tel Aviv is supposed to come in. The Tel Aviv area, it's covered. There's no line. I marked the line here. Okay?
Okay.
You see the brown area here with the arrow? Kerry, you see this brown cloud here? You see this brown? Yes. Next to Tel Aviv, more or less. Now look at the top of the nose. You see another cloud, small cloud, brown cloud?
Yeah, it's very faint on this picture, but
Exactly.
okay.
So I'm folding those two sides and I'm rotating, and you get this on the bottom left, this brown cloud. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm pressing negative, and what we see here, I brought an example. You can see an explosion in the color of blue. So
okay, so where is you saying this is going to happen in Israel? You're saying?
So in Israel, of course. I mean, I don't want it to be, but it's in front of the center of Israel. Is it on the beach, on the water, inside the city? I don't know, but you can see explosion in blue. Okay,
right?
And you can see above it. You can see the fire. And we need to think that probably it's the mushroom. And look, Tel Aviv area, the center, it's covered in a black cube. And everybody that research know that they worship the black cube. Okay?
Okay,
Now,
well, actually, I mean, this is also to do with the Muslim religion, though.
Muslim and probably not only Muslim, paganist or I don't know. Now look, inside the explosion, I see her face with a beard and the sunglasses. Can you see it? And a hat.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so I don't know who is it. One of my options look like a Khamenei, the leader of Iran. So is it a false flag by the Jesuit? Remember we saw the Jesuit founder, Loyola, on the other side of this explosion. When we killed it, we see the explosion, okay? And later I'm going to show you the Pope. I don't know what Pope it is, on the 50 note, on the Temple Mount, okay? So here we see some leader. It also maybe, I don't know if it's Khamenei, I sometimes think it's like a famous Jewish rabbi. So I'm thinking that the most famous Jewish rabbi might be him because, so I'm saying maybe he was so holy, so maybe he died. They killed him also, but he died, let's say. Maybe his holiness can make it not happen. I don't know.
Okay, I understand. Okay. Continue.
Okay, so, and by the way, there is a kid, I think in my city, he had a clinical death for a few minutes or so, and he was interviewed, and he said he saw a nuke explosion in the air or something like that. I don't remember exactly, and also in the north, near Haifa. And let me show you now. Let me show you. Many years I noticed something, but I didn't give attention to it until the kid that had a clinical death and saw something, saw two explosions. Now I'm going to show you the area in the north. Oh, it's difficult to see it here. Okay, you see what I'm pointing here?
Yes.
This is port of Haifa. Haifa is a big city port. There is the Baha'i temple over there. You know the Baha'i religious?
Yes.
Okay, they have the biggest temple over there. They have the new future end of days court. They have a nuclear shelter over there. There was a TV show on it. And they worship some Baha'u'llah prophet. And it's very similar to the winged disc face on the Babylonian winged disc that I showed you. Never mind. So as you can see here, you see this one of the squares, the triangle there, is covering the airport. Okay? Here you see on the right? You see here?
Yes. Okay.
And one of the square is covering the port, actually. Here it's not so good. You cannot see so good here. But it's covering also this area. So we have two cubes that covering two major sites in Israel. Okay? So who knows what they're planning? You know? Right now, I'm working to decipher this map, to enlarge it, to scale in a professional way, to see exactly where they might plan to do it. I'm going to show it to you soon. Okay, let me jump over to the Pope figure, to the Pope on the 50 note. Okay. So here we have the 15 note. So remember in the 100 shekel, it was Pekin village where Rabbi Shimon had the cave that he hid for 13 years, okay? And where so here, the picture of the subject of the note is Jerusalem, the Wailing Wall. Here, you can see where I'm pointing. This rectangle area, the right one, you see?
Yes.
So if you look above the Dome of the Rock, can you see it here, the Dome of the Rock? Okay. So now look, what I marked in red, we're going to rotate left, 90 degrees left, and we're going to press the invert effect. So here, you have it here, okay? And look, it's becoming like a Pope. I bought a sample of the Pope, the recent Pope, before the recent one. So look at this rectangle area. It's becoming yellow. Out of all the colors in the world, it's becoming yellow as a real Pope there. You see?
Okay.
So here, next to him, as you can see here, a Pope, and you see another beard man, another man. And if you look close, you can see it's very look like the Dagon priest, and Chilean Dagon priest. And when I did the research, the picture came out on Google. When I wrote Pope and Dagon, I came up with this picture. And you can see them exactly one next to each other on the Temple Mount. They were in Jerusalem.
Okay, you're saying it's is what?
This figure is a Dagon priest. Like in the Bible, they used to worship Dagon and the Baal. And Jewish people.
Interesting. All right. Yeah.
And here is a Dagon priest next to a Pope figure. Now I know what Pope is it. I tried to research. Maybe it can give clue who Pope is it. Maybe it can help in the research and to eliminate, what they want to do.
All right. They're calling this Dagon god a sort of a fertility god, but he looks very, I guess, reptilian.
Reptilian you have in the other notes. Oh, I have so much to show you. And also, why the Pope have a head like a fish mouth? Because if you look carefully, the Dagon priest used to wear a Dagon suit, a fish suit.
Really?
Yeah, you see where I'm pointing at?
Yes.
Yeah. And he hold, like the Anunnaki, he hold the it's too bad, how you call it? The Pini, how you call it? Or the Anunnaki hold in their hand. The statue that the Pope has in his backyard. The pineal, not pineal gland, how it's called? Never mind. So let's go. Let me show you the nuclear warhead. 1 second. Let me show you the nuclear warhead inside the explosion, Kelly. Okay. If you remember, the explosion is here. I marked in the square this area. I enlarge it here. You can see like a triangle, and the top is down, like a pencil phone, edge.
Right.
And both samples of nuclear heads. And you can see it here, exactly in the middle of the black cube. You can see a nuclear. And later I'm going to show you, but I enlarge this cube in the map. Okay, not in a professional way. And you see here the line where the two nodes connected, Ella, Kerry? See here the line where the nodes connected?
Right.
See it here? And the face is here? Okay. So we're two center points, two major points here, and I'm trying to decipher why they are there. So here we see the nuclear head, and in the map, I'm going to show you, I'm going to find it here. You can see I live in Rishon LeZion. It's 10 miles south of Tel Aviv. It's on the Mediterranean, close to the beach. There is a nuclear facility in my city. It's for peaceful purposes, so they call it. Okay? Yeah. And next to it, few meters from there is an amusement park, a theme park. And in Chernobyl, when I saw a movie, next to the Chernobyl nuclear place, the facility, there was also a theme park with a big wheel. How you call the big wheel?
A Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel. Every time I go there, every once in a while with the kids, family, I see this. I will go on the ferry wheel, and you see the nuclear facility, you know, like 500 meters from you. So in the map that I enlarge, hopefully with the same scale, the nuclear picture that you see here, they put, it's exact to the nuclear facility. Now, when you go to the line, with the two edges of the node connected, we see something. Now, there is a port, the second port, big city port. Remember Haifa in the north was covered in the square. So here we have a city of Ashdod. Ashdod, Isdud. It used to be in ancient times from the Bible. Isdud, Ashdod, today. Okay? And there's a big port over there. And they actually bought a new Chinese company to build another complex of port right to it, because all of the eBay and people of holdings on man, they need another port. So this line is exactly where the city port is. And next to the city port, there is a village. And the village is designed as a nuclear hydrogen bomb, like in the 50s. And the degree it's pointed to the port, okay? And it's passing District 9 in the city of Ashdod, the big city, okay? So, I don't know. And one mayor of the city of Ashdod is ash, it's fire. Dod, it means uncle or David, depending on what you want to call it. So one of the mayor, a few years ago, his name was Garin, his family name. Garin, it's either a seed or a fruit, but in a nuclear context, it's a nuclear. The last name is nuclear, okay? Garin, either a seed or a fruit or a nuclear warhead, something like that. Never, I have many clues, many things.
I understand. Okay. So at this moment, though, you know, people, we can't go on that much longer because we've been going for a while. And what I want to do is sort of sum this up. What is it that you were thinking? I understand you've done research, you've got all these images on these various notes, but what is it you think is going to happen? Have you put this together in your head, or are you just finding clues that you don't see connect?
Now, remember the prophecies I told you?
Well, you've got some written things that you sent me, right? That are here.
Just keep the spacecraft we begin with. We didn't talk about it on the 50 note, the old 50 note. Okay, 1 second. It's very interesting. 1 second. Oh, okay. So this is the old 50. We see the fingers on the forehead. Do you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. On the new version, where the other side, where I show you the Pope and the X-wing. So this is the front side. Okay. Okay. Remember? Okay. So what they took in the new version, they did it vertically. Okay. So you see the fingers in the old version. In the new version, you don't see any fingers. Fingers, no fingers.
Mm-hmm.
You with me?
So what's the point?
Okay, now I took the brightness down. I changed the brightness and the contrast, okay, where the finger is supposed to be. And I see those two objects. And those two objects are almost the same as the findings in Abydos temple. You know, the famous Abydos.
Yes, Abydos.
Abydos, yeah. In Dandera, I think, yeah, or Temple of Isis, something.
Right.
So, see it the same, okay? Exactly the same. You see it like an airplane. Now, if you look at this submarine, you may call it, if you ask me why it's not the same, so I can tell you that imagine an artist that sees this vehicle, this ship in the water, he doesn't know how deep it is, okay? So maybe on the right side in the background, we have the exact shape of this ship or whatever it's supposed to be. You understand?
Uh-huh.
What this has to do in our banknotes? You know, how can I explain this to regular people? You know.
Okay, but why? I understand what you're seeing there. I mean, have you ever tried to talk to anybody about the actual design of the banknotes within Israel? Anyone who behind the scenes?
So I called the Meresh, the designer, after a few years when I found the map. Okay, and when I understood why the map is there, you know, when I realized, I called him again, you know, I asked him, man, why is the exact map of Israel? And he suddenly changed his way of talking, and I could notice that he's afraid. And he told me, I cannot talk, I cannot elaborate. If you want, talk with Bank of Israel directly. I'm not allowed to comment. And not. You see what I'm saying now?
Mm-hmm.
The orange?
Okay, but what I understand. Okay, so there are things there, but it's not really clear why.
So it's a false flag, and also you have the 9/11. Let me show you even the 9/11 on the top of the map. Let me see. You have 9/11, and even you have UFO. Are you familiar with the UFO that enters the second building? Are you familiar with this research?
I'm not so sure. No.
A UFO live on NBC. You can see the footage in the live UFO entered hit the second tower, and you can see this UFO also in the 50 shekel. You know, and you can see here a black. You can see here a wing disc spaceship. You can see how you call it, blue beam. Also, that maybe probably that I was taken to the spaceship I was into, and you know, next time maybe we can elaborate more. I'm going to prepare more, but let me just show you the 9/11. Oh, by the way, this is nuts. On the 20 shekel note, on the 20 shekel, it was like a code. I had a simple Nokia phone 5-6 years ago, and I pressed with the brightness and the contrast, like up and down, not like a code. Like when I start to see something shining, I went more contrast, more plus, like that. Until this, you can see two towers. From this green, and the new version, it's from polymer, plastic, they made it. Also in the plastic, you can see it, you can do it. From this, I decoded this. You can see two towers. You can see a helicopter on the top. You can see something here, maybe the Statue of Liberty. This is crazy, you know? And I didn't know how to do it again. And I offered somebody on Craigslist money to do it. If we can do it, he told me, yes, get it with the Photoshop. Okay? So you can do it with Photoshop. I don't know exactly how, but you can reach this, not changing, not tampering with it, just changing the brightness and contrast.
Right.
You can find this two towers.
Okay.
You know? From 95, it's now perfect. You know? I used to live in Manhattan many years. Now let me show you the answer from Bank of Israel, just for the record. On his resume, Mr. Eshel, on his resume, you can read it in Hebrew, he developed a special project, a special maps for blind people. He expertise in specialized in maps. Okay? So, and this guy is I don't know if he did it or somebody else did it, because somewhat we see it's somebody, human hand, but the explosion and other things, is it a layer on a layer, or some of it is black magic, you know? So they did it, they print the notes, the banknotes in Holland, in the Netherlands. That's what I understood. So let me show you. I told the bank I want to go to the Supreme Court. you know, but I still don't know what case, what I should come out, what case to write, what is my case against them, you know. So they send me a letter. I need to present to the Supreme Court. I don't have money to do it. So you see here for Avraham Motola, August 2010. Your request to get a comment before approaching to the Supreme Court. The coin sec division test your claim and didn't find the marks as you described in the banknotes. We also checked your claims, other claims of you, and we don't see those pictures, the hidden pictures that you described. They didn't find any reason to anything with this, you know.
I understand.
And the day our first conversation, me and Mr. Eshel, you know, very nice conversation, you know. And next day, a Secret Service or something approached me, a car, pointed a gun or something towards me, you know. I wasn't afraid. I didn't even look back at them, you know, just went to my Bible class, you know. Yes, and I have more to tell you, many other experiences.
Okay, but I need you to summarize. You know what I'm saying? In other words, let's talk about the future. Let's talk about what you see coming, because people are going to be very confused listening to this. It's not very obvious. These pictures are not super obvious. I understand you're not the only one looking into this. I encourage anyone else listening to this to do their own research, take a look at the shekel notes, take a look and see what the images may portray. It does appear that there is something going on with these shekel notes. It does appear that there is some imagery there that can be linked to something. I think your Israeli coastline ideas sound very, very valid to me. But at this time, you know, what do you think is going to happen? You see, it sounds like you see, I guess it was the Pope and this Dagon or Dagon.
Look, here I combined, we have four notes, the 100, the 20, the 50, and the 200. On the 100, you see the face of Loyola.
Right. Well, Loyola is, again, for people listening, this is the person who really put into place the Jesuit educational system that we're still living under today, which is a lot of disinfo in it. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm not sure it's Loyola, but that's my first assumption. But here I gave, either is it Jan Menopomuk. You see his statue in the Bohemian Grove. He's Catholic priest, a holy Catholic. He was born in Nepomuk, in Bohemia.
Okay, and what is the name again?
Jan Menopomuk. Jan Menopomuk, something like that in Hebrew. He's a Czech Catholic holy priest or whatever. He was born in Bohemia. He was one of the Halki Hegemon of Prague, and they fight with him, and they throw him to the river. Okay, so this is other option. Another option is Ahmad Shah Massoud. Ahmad Shah Massoud. He was the leader of the Mujahideen, the Afghanistan Mujahideen. He was fighting the Soviets, and look at that. 2 days before 9/11. He was exploded. They killed him.
Okay.
Assassinated him 2 days before 9/11. You know. So I don't know. Is it a clue that they break in his face to two? Is it a clue to somebody that after 2 days 9/11 happened? You know. I don't know because I don't know if he studied in a Jesuit university, maybe.
Okay, but what you're talking about now, that's all fine, but it's also the past. So can you tell me what it is you think is coming in the future? Because you're obviously doing this research because you are concerned that something is coming. What is it you think is coming?
Okay. So You know, this the guy in the United States, forgot his name, he found in the $100, you can see a new scenario next to Manhattan. You saw this?
Yes.
Okay. It's the new version of the $100. You can see the Hoover Dam brought down, you know.
Okay, yes, I've heard this. Actually, can you stop sharing your screen so we can see your face again? And so for this part of the do you mind? Great. Okay, so you're talking about the Hoover Dam. You're talking about the new $100 bill. I have heard people say that, you know, I've seen it on YouTube and stuff like that. And yes, I have a couple people telling me, you know, there's a researcher who's done a lot of work on the Hoover Dam, thinks there's definitely something up with that, and that it may be, you know, exploded at a certain point. So
either exploded, yeah, but how? Is it going to be like an earthquake, you know, or I don't know. But major thing in front of us is the new scenario, the first flag in the 100, and in the new scenario in the 100 Israeli shekel, and this can happen any moment.
okay, a nuke scenario, are you talking about the Dome of the Rock?
No, Dome of the Rock, what we saw is the Pope, remember?
Right, but what is the point of that one, do you think?
They want Jerusalem. They want Jerusalem, Mount Zion, where King David burial site is. You know, now
Right.
there is not fighting, but they're arguing. You know who's going to be there. You know, many Christians coming there over there with the pagan, you know, ceremonies, and the Jews have to come out, and they're doing their idolatry. Their intentions are not bad, you know, but they are misled by Rome, you know.
Sure.
New religion, Christianity, you know.
Right.
You know? It's all pagan, you know. And even the word Christian in Hebrew, it's if you interpret the word, what it's saying, nobody think about it. Yeah, but I have to do it. It means calling the devil. Christian, okay? It's to call, לקרוא, or to read. Christian, Satan is devil. So they made those people that they have good intention, but they force them to believe also to go after statues, to call the name of the devil, which is also Lucifer, as you can see, they pray in the Vatican for Lucifer, and the name of even Jesus. Jesus, the name is like calling Zeus, Jesus, you know.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah?
Fair enough.
Rome, I don't know where, in IKEA, I don't know when, they made them, you know. If you want to say Jesus in the right way, which I'm not after Jesus, I don't believe in those, and not at all, you know. And if you want to pronounce it right, his name in Hebrew is Yud Shidvav, Yeshu. So to make it Jesus, it's like you call him Zeus. That's the goal of Lucifer, you know. So
all right.
Coming,
all right. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. So at the moment, you think something is going to happen with the Hoover Dam. You think something's going to go on with a negotiation over the Dome of the Rock. Neither of these things sound very outlandish. They sound very possible. Anything else that this investigation into these shekel notes is telling you about the future?
The Jesuit that in control in Israel is Shimon Peres. Shimon Peres is fighting for his last hours, probably in the hospital right now. They just called his family, okay? And he's the Jesuit commander, let's say. And Bibi Netanyahu is a Freemason. He said that. He said that in an interview in '94,
Okay.
I think. He said that he was went to the Freemason in the States. Okay.
Yes.
They want Jerusalem. They want to make one world government. The fight is on Jerusalem, and Rabbi Shimon, the prophecy from Elijah the prophet, the book of Zohar, what I wrote, what I send you, you can upload, show the first picture maybe.
That's okay. I mean, we don't really need to see it at the moment. What we'll do is you can send me any pictures you like, and then we can put them on my website and link over to your website. You know.
So what is basically it's describing there. I'm gonna put it also on my website or somewhere. I did it a long time ago, but I need to do it again.
Right.
It's describing there Star Wars, you know, for 70 days. And Messiah will fight those 7 stars, I think so, that represent 70 nations that harassed Israel in the whole history. He's going to fight them 3 times a day. It's like people will see Star Wars. Okay? And there is also a different page. It's all over the book, the book of Splendor. And one, it talks about Gizron star. Gizron. Gizron.
Gizron, okay.
It's a Hebrew maybe. It's calling it the 6th window. I think so. And it says when this star is in control, there is judgment on it. But it doesn't reside for a long time. So it says, a different page, it doesn't say it's Gizron, but you know, the Zohar was found, and it's not by order as it was written, because it was found in the 1100 in Europe, and then they organized it. So it's all mixed. So you see a prophecy that a star will show up on the 25th of the 6th month. You have it in front of you, maybe you should show it, because I won't say it right, you know? Exactly. Can you
well, I don't think I have that.
You want me to show it? It's going to be difficult for me now.
Yeah, I think it's too hard. You're saying that
it's starting on 25th of the 6th month of Elul. So we have, in the Judaism, have 4 times the Happy New Year. So it depends on how you calculate the New Year or the months. But as for the Torah, for practicing Jew, it's the month of Elul, which is this month. Month of Elul. We are now in Elul. So it says that is going to be on the 7th day. So next year, it happened 3 years ago. The 25th of Elul was on the Sabbath, on the 7th day. And, you know, I wrote it in the conspiracy pages of the Israeli public, you know, just to be ready for everything, you know, who knows. So next time it happens, it's next year. I think it's September 19th, maybe, or something, 2017, something like that.
I see.
I don't have it in front of me.
And what exactly do you think is going to happen on that day?
I don't know. But the prophecy says it will be visible in Rome. Okay.
This sort of star called Gizron.
Yeah. And Rome will be destroyed, and 3 walls or buildings of this Rome, of the city, we need to go on it more detail, because I'm not saying it exactly. 3 buildings or walls will fall in that city. But it doesn't have to be the same city. It can be either in New York, you know, because New York is belongs to the Vatican, you know. So through England. And so that's the day when wars start all over the earth. And it says a king will rule, will do wars with all the kings of the earth. And on and on. In different page, you have Star Wars.
Okay. And this is all coming from the Zohar, is that correct?
That's the Kabbalah book. The Illuminati. They working on how to say it, the dark side. You know, I don't know. They're trying to fulfill some, because if you see on 9/11, three buildings fell. You know, and a UFO like a star suddenly appears 3 miles from New Jersey area. You know. So either it's a clue they did. Oh, also 9/11 it was ceremony, dark side ceremony to resemble the Jewish temple, and instead of it to build the Tower of Babel, Nimbo Tower. Okay, we have the twin towers, Jachin and Boaz. We have building number 7. Okay, and if you look at building number 7, you can see the top of it where the air conditioner are. And when I was an electrician, that's what I was doing. I was on high rise in Israel, fixing the engines to those, to those air conditioners, you know. And you can see the top of building number 7, Solomon Building. It's exactly like the thing on the altar of the temple. It's like a square, and there is like this. When you go and you make the fire for the sacrificial, it's exactly on the top of the Solomon Garden building. Number 7, 47 story. I don't know why. Euclid, something Euclid. I'm still learning this thing.
Okay.
Never mind. If you take the 9/11 complex, the World Trade Center, and you put it on the Temple Mount, I didn't do it exactly, but I started to do it. I need help. I'm just by myself, you know. I call my work institution to eliminate idolatry. Okay. If I had help or somebody to help me, if I had a budget, you know, I have many things I want to do, you know, but I cannot do it by myself.
Okay.
I want to raise money in the future. I don't know, like a group or whatever.
I appreciate that. Okay.
So you put the World Trade Center on the top, or
right.
You can see matches. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So they eliminate the World Trade Center. Okay? What they built instead? Freedom Tower, the modern Tower of Babel, you know, and many people say that Nimrod, you know, he was black man. So either Obama is the modern Nimrod, you know. So and Babel, the tower was between 2 rivers in Babylon, Eretz Shinar, the Prat and the Hiddekel, and the Hudson River meets on the right, on the left to Manhattan. You know, you see many things. Everything is connected. Everything is connected.
Sure.
And I didn't. Maybe the next time we'll talk about the spiritual experiences I had. You know, good ones, bad ones. Just shortly, I would say when I explain in synagogue, many. Oh, you see this?
Yeah, the image isn't coming out very well. What is it?
Okay. Now, it's not only in banknotes they put the idolatry and statues. Here it's a village in Israel, and if you can see the face and the hand and the leg, and you're holding a hammer. You don't see it good, I can see. But you can see it on my website.
Okay.
9aven.weebly.com. 9aven.weebly.com. It's partially in English. You can see it, the presentation. 9aven. Why 9aven? Aven in Hebrew, it's bad thing. It's a sin. But also, lehavin, aven, it's like to order you to understand. So instead of 9/11, 9aven.weebly.com. So here you can see Tor, and this is not that didn't build in a day. It's Arab village, you know, and it's built like Tor. Let me see for some example. You know, in my city here, they built a neighborhood as an astronaut. You don't see it good, yeah, okay?
No, it's very not clear, but a little bit. Okay, so you're saying the shape of the neighborhood is in the shape of an astronaut.
No, here it's a mall. You can see the head here and the suit. Okay?
Yes.
This is the mall. Okay, here it's the library in the city of Afula in the north. Okay, this is that library, and this is the Yad Lebanim, the memorial for the Israeli soldier who died in the war. Okay, it's called Beit Yad Lebanim. It's for the son of Israel, but actually it's not for the Israeli sons that died. It's for the sons of God. You can see an astronaut, and it's a saucer next to him. He's hugging the saucer. Okay? In my website, you can see it more clearly. Okay? And you have even a village next in the New Kin, where Rabbi Shimon lived. This is not so, this is no modest, but this is a neighborhood, and you can see a man here and a woman, and he's behind. This is from a satellite. This is Pekin, well, Rabbi Shimon, but this is the new neighborhood. They build it, and look, they built somebody, and he's on a woman from behind. How can I explain those two people? Here you see the Orion Belt, okay? Here you see the Orion Belt. It's matched to the pyramids, matched to Saddam Palace, and the Temenenki Ziggurat was, okay? So here, in my website, you can see the Knesset, you can see the Bank of Israel, and you can see the monastery of the cross of Jesus, and that's where the wood, holy wood, they worship the wood, and that is the monastery, and it's exact match to the Temenenki and Saddam Hussein, which was Nebuchadnezzar Palace. It's all match. All Jerusalem is a map. They built it the same as Babylon. We have Babylon in Tel Aviv.
Okay.
People will click on a few more. This is only my presentation on 9event.weebly.com. This is the Knesset, the Israeli parliament. Okay, this is the Ziggurat.
Right.
Enki. It looks like an Enki, Son of God, Enki, and it's 91 square, 91, exactly here, 91 square. And when they built it, when you come in there, you come from here. You don't see those floors that were added years later, recently. So they built it slowly to resemble a ziggurat. Okay?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And over there, I don't have the picture, but in my website, you're going to see where they give on the podium, there is a wall with art. Okay? And in the art, you can see Enki or the Anunnaki, the big head, the eye. And when I was young, I saw something weird over there. Oh, let me show you the UFO. There is NBC, you can see the UFO entering. I took the contrast out, you can see the UFO. And under the plane, everybody thought it was a bomb on the first day. Okay? So I forgot his name, from England, Richard Planet. You know him?
Yeah, I think I know him.
Yeah, he discovered it. I translated it to Hebrew, so people in Hebrew see. So this is the 100 shekel. I didn't show you yet the 9/11. It's on the top of the map. On the bottom, you saw the explosion. And here, you can see here, what's his name? Saddam Hussein, one of his eyes. And you can see the UFO. Okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to show you next time, I'm going to show you the whole scenario of 9/11 in the top of the 100 shekel. And every year they do, I was there even celebrating the dropping of the ball,
Right.
In times, dropping of the ball. So.
Okay, so Avraham, I know you have more and more things, but at this moment, we're going to have to close this down.
The 9/11, there you go. The 9/11.
Okay, But everyone can go to your website to see this, okay? And we can give people, if you want people to communicate with you directly, how can they do it?
Probably by Facebook, Avraham Motola.
All right.
Or by the actual code. You know, there is two. One it's for English, and I'm not.
Okay, but isn't the Escher code? Doesn't that belong to that guy, or is that your page?
Oh, it's mine. I was looking for an interesting name to make it like a Da Vinci Code,
I see.
Or Escher code, you know. Oh, by the way, so you see here the scenario. You see, this become this. This green become to the blue beam that they put over there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This line becoming the top of the tower that fell first. And you see Osama. This becomes Osama. And this become explosion. Okay? And this is part of the nuke that we saw. Real quick, Kerry.
Yes.
See, remember the X-wing I told you?
Uh-huh.
So on the negative, you can see it's sitting on an edge of like a bottomless pit, like the North Pole, you know? Mm-hmm. So they first have it on video from Mir, and you can see here Mir. You can see Mir spaceship in the note. Here.
Right.
When you do negative, you can see the curvature of the earth, you see the hollow, you can see people living like underwater. It's crazy. It's so deep, you know?
Okay. But I'm sorry. We have to go.
Yeah, idolatry, that's what I'm praying in the north where Rabbi Shimon lives. It's the second tourist place. That's what they're praying to. You see the image here?
Yes.
So it's not easy to tell people that they worship the Anunnaki. You can see the face. You know, it's coming different ways on prayer books, on you name it.
Okay.
So I didn't tell you, but maybe next time about Mr. Goldfield. Why they didn't kill me yet? Why they killed? When I went to the police on the beginning, I called the police and I told them, come here, I want to file a complaint, you know. I didn't know who I'm complaining to. The police came, they told me you need to come with us to file a report in the station. Okay, I went with them. And then it was hilarious, you know. Olmert used to be the prime minister at the time, you know.
It was what? I'm sorry,
Olmert was the prime minister at the time.
Okay.
6, 7. Okay. So, and one guy next to the police in the station tells him that they need to take me to a psychiatric evaluation.
Yes.
Because they're talking on the phone, you know. So, I filed the report over there. It was crazy. Who I'm filing? I didn't know. I told the police there's cameras here, you know. I didn't know how they work, you know. Later I realized it's also, they have their ways, it told me, because before they killed him, they have their ways. Never mind.
So they killed this guy, and they killed your next door neighbor or something like that. Is that?
Many of those. So in the night, I came back from the police. They tell me my neighbor is his funeral, and it's my next house. And when I start to read the Kabbalah, they put you in coma. I wrote a book. It says Shiur Coma. Never mind. It's like a coma. It's a level. So it's a game of war. They're playing with games of words, you know, this Illuminati to bring messages. And then she was in coma. I didn't realize that they doing this. And then I went to the police. They tell me she's in funeral. I go to the funeral. Our next door, next to her, also funeral. Okay? And in the evening, I'm coming here home. And they knock from the institution. They tell me you need to come to evaluation. You know? I said, okay, you know, I tried to explain. No, it's a misunderstanding. I went there. I told the psychiatric the truth. You know, that's maybe my mistake. But no, I want to be honest. You know, he was thinking I'm crazy. He told my others, you don't know how serious is the situation of your father. My life changed like in a movie, and they gave me pills that night. I said, God, I'm here, I accept it, don't let me swallow those, because I knew what it does to the health.
Right.
I was there for like 3 weeks or 2 weeks, and my psychiatric over there, she told me, we're thinking to give you shots. I was glad, but I was stick to my story that there is a conspiracy with Mr. Goldfield, you know. So I said, with shots, I'm not playing. I cannot escape this. So I changed my, my story a little bit. I thought I'm going to go out, everything will be fine. I didn't know I'm going to be say, I have a title, schizophrenic and paranoid. Okay? After a month, I'm going out. I'm being told that my uncle died the day I came in. Okay, and they explained to me in their way they did it. A few years ago, I wrote my story on David I forum.
Yes. Right.
You didn't answer me, or Mr. Hamish didn't, and also in Israel, 2 big websites for conspiracy that suddenly came out, also didn't do the story, let alone those major networks. And, and and I have a friend that he was working in the TV show as a big reporter on the daily evening news. When I found this in the banknotes, I didn't call him immediately. 3 months I worked to decipher them. Then I called him. Then he tells me they fired him. We don't know why. Okay?
Oh,
So you need to understand that. So after I start to type on Mr. Ike website, because I realized it's the shapeshift. It's also in the Torah books, in the Kabbalah.
Yes.
It's how they take in the form here on earth. Explain to you everything there. So I put it on Ike, and I was writing it for like a week. And then when I start to write my aunt hospital, I knew it's them. Nothing will stop me.
All right. So you basically think that they've been killing people around you.
Enter next day funeral.
I appreciate that.
Next year, a big rabbi came to my city. He do a live event, and I decided to bring this to his live event on the website. It was supposed to be Sunday night. Saturday night, morning of Sunday, my father doesn't show up at home. Something was, fishy. I went with the police to look for him in the city. It was a rental car, so there was a chief over there. We found him like this, almost dying in the car. They put something to him. It was like this. And we took him to the hospital that night. And instead of going to the lecture to expose everything live, I stayed with my father. And if I need to understand, if I would go,
I understand.
Last year, I'm very short in events, very, very. Last year, I made a lecture in Tel Aviv. Okay, I slept on the bench in the yeshiva in the north where I live, where Rabbi Shimon buried. There's a big site over there. You can pray and visitors come. So there is rooms. I slept few months on the bench to save my rent, to rent a nice place in Tel Aviv, and to bring a camera guy that eventually didn't even film the screen, he filmed me. So all the event went off. It's easy on YouTube, but you just see me. You need to go on my website and click on the presentation. Never mind. I knew they might do something. Nothing happened day after, but after a few days, the baby of my brother suddenly died. Okay? So I'm very shocked. So why they don't kill me? They didn't kill me yet. I told you about it before. If you want, I can say it, but maybe for next time.
All right. Okay. Look, thank you very much, Avraham, for your testimony and for all your, hard work. And I guess we'll see what happens. Perhaps we'll see you again. And I can encourage people to go to your website, to look at your research, to see if they can help you, and see if you're onto something. Okay?
Yeah. If you want me 2 minutes, I will very few short experiences, or maybe we can skip another.
I think this is enough for now because it's been going on for a while, and this is a lot for people. And I'm sorry because I have to close this down right now. Okay, I have to go.
Again, there's sometime in the future.
All right. Take care. All right. And thanks everyone for watching. And, you know, it's important to give people a chance to give their testimonies, and that's what we're doing here. So thank you very much, Avraham. I'm going to let you go on Skype and just close down the show now and put the credits on. Okay?
Thank you, Ken.
All right. Take care.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Hi. Okay. So I know that that's very confusing to a lot of people, but he's been contacting me for quite a while. I do think he has something. He's onto something. It is interesting that he has had so many people around him be killed or die of unusual circumstances, or even what appear to be normal circumstances. But this is what we're looking at. There are people out there who are onto clues about certain things. They get watched, they get targeted. And this is an Israeli citizen who is having something of this nature happening to him. So thank you for watching and have a great day. Okay.